say definitely, and something that I've noticed is that it seems like when you begin to distance yourself more and more from the clinging and the desire, it's almost like you get more energy and more awareness because you're not pulling that extra attention away from being centered and being fully attentive towards something else, towards a desire or towards something else. You're more centered, and it's something where you have significantly more energy all day, more alertness all day, seemingly without doing anything.
And if I recap a little bit, I know I started from the very beginning, like, what Buddha has discovered as, like, the we all have that uneasiness or dis-ease. So he discovered that really why it is coming through, because of that really our nature of, all this changing nature in this our existence. That is why we are, having that uneasiness. So for the reason for that, and then we actually went through that four noble truth, right, which is actually four different aspects of this particular existence. One is, of course, it's we are really clinging to this existence. That is why we are suffering, and then you can let go of it, because some people have already, experienced that. And then, of course, there is a way that you may have to go through a little bit. After that experience, you have to follow a path. So last week, actually, we talked about that Adyashanti's experience. When he mentioned about it, he said that really it happens like, transcendence happened to him, but there was something was going on within him, although that it was a good, very profound experience. And he know that really he had been transcended to the other side, or whatever the thing that he referred to. In fact, what he meant was that though he got that experience of non-self, even for a fraction of a second, from that onward, he was different. But in the same time, there are some other things going on in his body. That's what he was saying. Alex was referring to the same thing, because you feel that really you are not yourself, but at the same time, some little bit of a attachment, little bit of a connection is there. So if I go to the technical terms, that is where that really Buddha mentioned that there are 10 fetters. 10 fetters in the sense of our, lack of a better term, I would call it our soul. Soul is comprised of 10 things. 10 things in the sense, 10 longing. Those 10 longings are that I've listed out on previous one, that our self-identity, and then of course we have a doubt, and then at the same time some people tend to believe things and then go for ritual and ask for some outside help, those kind of things. So then we go to that inner sense, and then we find that non-self experience. If you get that experience, actually your composition has been scattered a little bit. What will happen is that the 10 longings or 10 fetters has been just scattered, and then 3 of them really eradicating from you. That is why you don't feel anymore like, this is your ego has, to some extent, it's been demolished. In the sense, when I say some extent, it's like 90% of your ego has already gone. There's about 2% of, it's not an ego, like it's a kind of your sense of that yourself is still remaining. So that is what even that Adhyashanti was talking about. Something is there, but that is that little sense of yourself that is there. But on top of that, still that 7 other fetters are still remains with you. The most strongest fetters are, one is actually our desire. Sometimes it is a lust, like, that kind of a strong desire. And the other one is our doubt, or the aversion or the ill will. They call it ill will, in the sense that really we are trying to reject something, and we always have some kind of a little friction, kind of a thing. That friction comes because of that our desire is there, still there. So those are the two things that really which keep going, although we have seen the real inner essence or that non-self experience. So when I talked about this, the desire, lust, and all those kind of a thing, they are not strong as it used to be anyway. They are very mild. They are very mild, still there because of our now in actual term, it has been there for so many birth. But I know that some people, they don't believe that. But actually, you will feel that later on. You will feel that some of the things that really you are experiencing within you, you never even thought about before. But it's come kind of a different feelings comes through. So that is because of that kind of the accumulation that we had. So it is like, then my analogy or my simile about, the snowball, which is very easy to understand. So that snowball is been really become the bigger or the larger snowball because of all this snow accumulated. So when I say snow, that is actually equate to that our longing, because we grab everything all the time. Even right now, although we don't consciously don't accumulate things, but unconsciously, subconsciously, we are just collecting the things around us. We are perceiving those things. So those things goes and deposits in this our soul or our self-image. That is what it's been carrying on all the time. But once you really get that non-self experience, it's about 90% of our that clingingness, our holding, our grabbing is gone. So that is why we are very free. And like, Alex was talking about, and then some have given the kind of feedback. So something's happening around the world, but they are incidents. You don't have to worry about it. It's very comical. Actually, things are very worrying about it, that kind of thing. So the rest of the things has to dies away from you, but it has to go away in the sense, like another example is like, on your device the battery is dying, kind of a thing. That those kind of urges and all those kind of longing, they are just settling down. You can see, you can feel it. You don't have to do anything. It's just coming down. Only the part is that it will not come down is that really, if you start clinging onto something, like, even when I'm talking about, desires and everything, if you indulge with that and then try to see that really there is a good in there, kind of a thing, so then that your original experience may little go dormant. But then sometimes you maybe feel like, you are no longer having that experience anymore. So that is because of you are trying to attach to something, and then it just goes dormant. But for sure, this is with my full experience, I'm saying, it is there, and it may just trigger point. So my reference to that is actually Stephanie. When you talk about that, really on so long time ago, you had a kind of unexpected experience, which is really, you were explaining that the same way that really the others were explaining after the meditation, kind of things. You felt that this is why all the fear went away and all that thing, because that trigger point is coming through, and then you felt it. But later on, of course, you had it for a couple of years, right, or going on there. But later on, you just forgot that because of that really very, very traumatic incident. It is like, when that snowball is the melting down, there would have been some kind of say a debris, like a little twig or some branch was already, accumulated with the snowball. So it came out, and then because of that, you lost that. But it's now gone, because if you have that experience of melting that kind of a accumulation. So now you are free again. So that is what. So you have to allow that kind of melting to go away, and then you don't need to try to get there anymore. I mean, the get to that experience that you had, that phenomena, or that marvelous experience. You don't have to look for it. If you are looking for it, again, you are just attaching to that. Rather than you just wait, and then you can. Meditation is helping, because then you will be going deeper and deeper. So that is what. So that is where that Four Noble Truth one is, of course, that you have seen it, like the on with non-self experience, either this birth or previous birth, doesn't matter. But anyway, this birth you have noticed it. It came up, and in the same time you realize that really at that time you are very happy, and then everything is you don't have to attach to that much. But again, that your mind will take over you a little bit later on if you are not allowing that experience to continue. That is where that really fourth noble truth, which is that really what we are doing here now. When we connect and when we discuss, actually your mind will understand, oh, what I need to do, and that kind of a thing. So that is the process to go through, and then finally you would see everything will be. I mean, the right now even I'm not sure. I'll allow you to speak about it. Maybe that your experience is much different than the previously. So that's what I wanted to discuss. That's what I want to post right away now, to see whether anybody else or anybody wants to, if you have any questions, or we can comment on that. If you have similar kind of experience, you think, oh, this is what you're talking about, it's time to talk. I'll allow you to, whoever wants to talk first.
I got something. So I think it's important what you said about the batteries and slowly letting them progressively get lower and lower and eventually die down, because it's something that it's not like when you begin to let these batteries die down, that if you have some kind of small slip, let's say it's something like your main craving is food or something along those lines, you have a slip and you eat something that's a cookie or something along those lines, or you indulge a little bit, but then you go right back to it. It's not as though the battery then fills all the way back up, but it's something that if you don't pay attention to and you don't keep doing the practices and you then let that desire begin to run amok again, then you start filling the batteries all the way back up.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then when we talk about these batteries, it's what Alex is not talking about our energy level, our body energy level. It's actually our desire level, or our craving, degree of craving is going down. Other than and actually when they are going down, I mean, all those our urges or our kind of uh, desire, or that kind of things going down, our physical energy boosting up. It's not, I mean, it is that, and then you are in a different layer, but actually it's been called one of the factor of awakening, in the sense that really you are more alert and you are more blissful. So although that because of the other things has gone down, because nothing to disturb you anymore, your happiness. That is why I call it true happiness, right? I just want to highlight that when, correct, Alex?
Oh yeah, I was going to say definitely, and something that I've noticed is that it seems like when you begin to distance yourself more and more from the clinging and the desire, it's almost like you get more energy and more awareness because you're not pulling that extra attention away from being centered and being fully attentive towards something else, towards a desire or towards something else. You're more centered, and it's something where you have significantly more energy all day, more alertness all day, seemingly without doing anything.
Good. Good.
Yeah. I read something recently where he was explaining like Taoism, and he was saying that like the best way to explain it is to think of like um I forget what it's called. Those things that swing back and forth. Not
Mhm.
a gong, whatever that is,
Yeah,
something
yeah,
swinging
yeah.
back and forth. And
Pendulum.
that, yeah,
Pendulum.
a pendulum, exactly. And that the pendulum is using a ton of energy swinging back and forth
Mhm.
between, yeah, like desire and fighting the desire, or like what have you, all the things that go on in the mind. And that like Taoism is this space where you stop swinging back and forth between all these things. And it's all
Yeah.
this energy, but you're not actually doing anything. It's like the eye of the hurricane. It's the spot where the pendulum is hanging without swinging. Like that's where all the energy is because it's not being wasted on all these other things.
Very good. Very good. That is true because actually you will feel that. That's the beauty of this because the this is actually your experience it rather than you are trying to do them. Some of the meditation practices like that vipassana and all that they are trying to stop that pendulum like holding it and try to that is okay as long as you are holding it. But on your day-to-day life you just release it and then you start again. So on this practice, what we are doing is we are not even, the pendulum is not even moving anymore. It's just stopped. And then you feel that. Even if it is moving a little bit, not like those days kind of thing. That is a very good thing. And whenever you are reading the book that I have sent out somewhere there is a table actually. I put a table to say that really how they are reflecting. Now, usually we have this kind of disturbances which are called five hindrances. I can go to detail later on one by one. And then because of that five hindrances are dies down or the battery is going down, like our meditative absorption are coming up, it's increasing. Along with that, actually, the outcome of that is actually that blissfulness that we were talking about. So it is because of the less disturbances, we are really enjoying our life or bliss of being live. That's what I normally call it. Because you are really enjoying the life in the sense, true sense, not like, going behind something and pursuing something. No, it is actually you are really enjoying our life like a tree enjoying its life. If I put it that way. Think about that. Some of those plants, when they were watered properly, they come out with a liveliness, right? That's kind of a liveliness. That's what I'm talking about. Anybody else want to ask questions or contribute? Should I call them? Okay. T, what you learn?
So to piggyback off of Grace, what came to mind to me with the pendulum was to always be that unchanging in the changing, be that middle pendulum that's always centered. Even though you got the left and the right going this way, you always stay centered you always stay centered, solid in everything else that's changing around you. Because that's the only thing that's going to be constant is change.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing to be able to sit and rest comfortably in that too.
Yeah. Yeah, if I put it differently, that one again on a different perspective, that like all the time we were the pendulum in the sense that really we were that heavy weight which is going up and down and then moving here and there. But now once you get this experience, what you're doing is you are just stepping out there and then watching about it. You're just sitting and then watching that this is happening. Okay, so you are not really hit by the any sides whenever go up and down. So you are really relaxing and okay, you've seen that. That is why even that Tiffany was saying it there on the other day. It's comical, very comical. These people are really panicking about these things. So just like, that pendulum is crying. It is very comical in that case. That is what it is. How about you, Stephanie?
I really like listening to you. I don't really like talking. I don't really have anything to say, but I'm very much enjoying this discussion.
Yeah. No, I wanted to, for this is discussion is there are 5 things happening when we are discussing, especially this we call Dhamma, because the Dhamma in the sense that really the conditions, this condition that we are in, because in my mind and even Buddha, what he was talking about is this existence is just flux in flux. We are in there, just like the tadpole in the water, right? So when we talk about this and then when we clarify everything, keep 5 things happening. One is that really whatever we don't know, we learn. We get to know about it. Okay, this is how it is. And the second thing is actually the person who has been really talking about it, he refreshes mind, or he refreshed that same experience. Now, even when I'm talking about it, sometimes when I say that really, okay, all these, different layers and then 5 hindrances, when they goes down, the other one is coming up. It's within me. I'm just building the same thing. I know that impact. So that is the second thing. And the third thing is, of course, sometimes the things that I don't know, I learn from you. Because in the sense that really your experience is different. And then when you're talking about it, I say, now, like what specifically, Stephanie, about your thing, I told you on the other day, this is the first time I heard about that kind of a change. Because once you get that non-self experience or non-self experience, or that kind of a, the very phenomenal experience, and then you realize, everything is just, why should I have been really worrying about it? Kind of a thing. I thought that it might last all the time, but actually now I learned that, okay, this is happening. And then I refer to, at the same time I realized, that is why Buddha mentioned about this that way. So it confirmed me. So that is the third one. And then the fourth one is actually confirming that whatever you know, it will confirm. Now, like Alex was just giving yes, that is what I'm talking about. Because whenever I explain it, Alex can relate to his experience and say that, this is the battery's lying down, that kind of thing. So those are the 4 things mostly people who are engaged with happening. And at the same time, the 5th thing, what is happening is that really, since we are talking, since we are really experiencing it, this particular process is continuing. You know what I mean? Because then now the first 4 thing what I'm talking about is I learn it, you guys learn it. And at the same time, I actually reconfirm things, and then you also reconfirm things, right? And the 5th one is actually this kind of a discussion is continuing even all the way. Although now we have the technology record and then publish it, it doesn't matter whether we record or not, but it will happen. It will be there on the air, I'm just giving that idea. So people are carrying this. That is what I meant. Okay, Stephanie, yeah.
So, I've had, as you know, like some temporary experiences of the non-self, and so I have somewhat of a experiential understanding of it, but my mind keeps trying to make sense of this conceptually, and then I get really confused. Like I have so many questions. I don't know if it's appropriate to ask them in this setting, but I need someone to explain to me the nature of reality. Are we living in a dream? Do we have free will? Do I have any control over what's happening in my life? I'm very confused.
Okay, so I'll answer that. Actually, that's the only thing you have. You have that your will. You can do whatever you want. But what happens is your mind is taking you for a different ride. Your mind is taking you for a ride. That is what's happening. Rather than that, you can be yourself. In fact, actually, I'll give a different perspective of that. You would have heard about this. Everybody was talking about cause and effect, right? And then it's been now on the olden word is actually karma. Karma in the sense that really, okay, everything happening because of whatever you have done before. So if that is the case, why we worry about it? It will happen, right? You don't have to worry about it. But the actual discovery of the Buddha is that really you can stop that. You can stop that snowball so that you have the will. It's not that really everything happening from outside. This is our true nature. Don't be a kind of a puppet of this whole thing. Because our mind is trying to make us a puppet, and then mind is trying to, control us, and then saying this and that. No, we can step aside, step out of this mind-created bubble, and then do whatever we want to do.
And then we're not going to be reborn again after this life ends.
Say it again.
And then we're not going to be reborn again after this life ends.
Correct.
And what was the point of all of this?
Yeah, okay. Okay, this is what the point. I'll come to the very shorter version of it.
Okay.
Right now, you have that question. What's the point of this? Because of you, one time you were happy, but now you are thinking, why we are? So that is the point. Because why we are changing every time? Why can't be the same as that happiness, what you enjoy, but 2 or 3 years ago? That's the issue. That is what we are. That is the point. Otherwise, we will be just suffering in the sense we will be reborn every minute, every hour, every day, every week, because you are not the same person previously you were, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the change. That now, when you think about reborn, we are not going to reborn again. So what's the point in the sense that your mind is thinking, why should I want that to happen? Because then what will happen to me? Right? But think about that me. Were you really happy? No, you were really struggling all this time. Don't you want to be outside of it and then be happy like what you used to be now? Are you with me?
Kind of. I'm still a little confused.
Alex, probably you might be able to put it
Yes. So I think that one difficult thing that I noticed happens is there are so many unanswerable questions that you try to follow it and try to go down the rabbit hole in trying to answer, well, what's the purpose of everything? What happens next? So on and so forth. But the ultimate thing is that you won't know until it's something that you experience and is presented in front of you. Like if you die and then you are reborn, you'll lose what this life was, and you'll forget everything that you've ever known, and then you'll go through this cycle all over again. And then you get to the end and you go, well, what happens next? But it's ultimately questions like this that there's not an answer that anything that anything will give you a sufficient answer. And through my own various kinds of exploration and wondering, well, what's the purpose? What is all of this? Is, at least it seems to me, that the purpose is to exist and to experience things and to eventually let all of these things go, because it's not what the ultimate farthest, that non-self thing, that is ultimately what is at the base of everything, and everything stems out from that. But as far as many of the other things, there might not be an answer that will be able to actually pinpoint, hey, it's this specific thing. Is this helping at all, or am I making it far worse?
Yeah, no, this is helping. Yes.
Actually, I'm very impressed the
Yeah,
way
that
that
was
you
good.
explain. Yeah, it is like the olden days actually. If any scholar who has learned about Buddhism and then have a PhD on a Buddhism, that person couldn't explain clearly as what you did. I'm
He
very
probably
very
had one in his last life.
Hey,
So
there,
he's
there
just
you
no
go. There
remembering
you go.
no.
them.
No, this that is coming only to me. I can see it's coming only with the perfect experience. Then only you can actually articulate that way.
Mhm.
Without that perfect experience, they cannot because they can't reference to that. But I'm still trying to see that point to you, Stephanie. Now, Alex was talking about reborn and on the next life and all that. But to me, I can see that you had that death and reborn in this lifetime because I could see that really you were happy for some time, right? You
Mhm.
explained to us, I was happy, but now you are not. Now see that's the answer for your question. What the whole this thing about? Why can't I be like that? Are you with me?
Yeah, I guess
So
it's that simple. I thought, yeah, okay.
it is that simple. And the thing is, our mind is not allowing that to accept or the take that as a right answer because, but it has to be come through you in the experiential level. So that,
Yeah.
that is why I'm saying that it will be better to be in touch with the meditation as well. So then it will confirm. Oh, okay, this is what we are. This is what I used to be. Why I'm now struggling with other things. So that is what it is. Very good. Good question. Actually, I think that is why I wanted to have this. I mean, it's not me. I mean, I told you that this is again coming from that actual this whole existence scenario. We are just out to discuss it and get that uh, experience for everybody, everyone. And how about Grace?
Yeah, I'm reading your book. I'm like halfway through. I'm
Oh,
actually on the chapter about five fetters. And
uh-huh.
I am also filled with like all these philosophical questions. It's like driving me a bit crazy. Um, I wanted to mention that so I read this poem when I was in high school or something. And the poem is about, it's called The Egg. And the poem is about some guy in his 40s that dies in a car accident. And then after he dies, he like meets God and he's like, okay, like what's happening here? And God is like, you're about to be reborn as like a Chinese peasant girl in the 1300s. And you're just going to keep doing this for all the different lives over and over. And you are everyone. And I read that and I was like, oh, that makes sense. I like that. Like I'm gonna care that just clicks or something. And that's kind of always how I've thought about it is that or like recently today I've been thinking like, okay, I have this very strong feeling that there is nothing other than the present moment. Like the past and the future are just concepts. It's just the present moment. And so I was feeling like, okay, so maybe the non-self experiences one consciousness at a time, basically. But time doesn't really exist. So then it's just going between all these different creatures and like forms of consciousness.
Mhm.
Um, And then I was reading about you were saying in your book, like I have accepted for a long time that like suffering is a fact of existence.
Mhm.
And then you're saying in your book that like, okay, so the goal is to let go of suffering. And actually, I never thought about if you take that to the natural And the philosophical end of that is like, okay, well, if suffering is to end, existence is to end. So I guess I was kind of thinking of it as like, okay, if it's the oneness is experiencing different consciousnesses, then eventually it will get to a point where it awakens and stops being reborn because it's just one thing. But then I don't understand how there are multiple people that are awakened. And
Oh,
how is this like the point where existence ends is the point in which there are enough people, or you've
oh,
been reborn and awakened enough times that the oneness ceases to exist
very
and
good.
the universe
Very,
ends?
very good question. And then you're on the halfway through on the book. That is why you're asking a question. Can you
Just
remember
it
at
gets
at the
answered later.
beginning? At the beginning, I mentioned that on my introduction that this is like a cross stitch. That once you
Right,
know
yeah.
stitching everything, and then you will see the picture little by little. But at the when you finish everything, you will see the full picture. And the one that really, I'm really happy that you grasp it and you are really reading it and then getting the message as well. So the part that you're talking about is how everybody, so many people, billions of people will be like that, and then what will happen? The thing is that it'll be when you currently that you are reading the part that really Buddha has tried to explain it on our own experience level. That's the only level that we can perceive right now. But once you go beyond this non existence and then touch that non-self experience, you will see that really this is not only happening to me, it's happening to everybody around me. And it's happening to every plant around me. And everything that we see, we perceive as this existence, it's happening to them too. So once you really go beyond that, and then you just that your snowball is melted, it is this kind of a dream will not be there anymore. So that is the difference. So in that case, you don't have to even you don't. I mean, as a we are really still what you are conceptualizing with your own that little the conceit or the little me little me. You're just thinking, now if everything goes, what will happen to me? Kind of thing. That little small me, tiny me is not there either. So then that is like you are just going all the way up down there. Now I'll give a different analogy for that. Like now Stephanie was talking about, are we in a dream? Okay, we'll take that example, that analogy. Yes, we are in a dream. What will happen is actually, okay, when we have that one non-self experience, somebody poke onto us. We were enjoying a good dream, and then all of a sudden somebody just hit me. And then you woke up just for a minute. And then, so you are in the dream so deeper, you just go back to me. But you know that really, I was dreaming, but still you are more into the 90% of your attention is more with the dream rather than that 2% or the 10% of non-dream part. So that is why that really now you are in the dream. But supposing now that whole dream is done and then you wake up, you awaken. So where is that person who was in the dream? He's not there. Are you with me, Grace?
Yeah, but then my thinking was like, okay, if awakening happens like on an individual scale or even like on a universal scale, wouldn't whatever led to the dream happen again?
No,
Wouldn't it just start over?
no. I know it's very, very difficult to connect again that because it's still we are conceptualizing, right? Your mind is conceptualized. But not only you, all these professors and all these scientists are just saying the same thing. So I know that really I refer to that Professor Frank Tipler. He was talking about the singularity. Now he's talking about the same thing what you were talking about, because he's saying, okay, now everything is this, and then apart from that, there was a singularity. And then he has given that singularity as a kind of a omega point, right? I think it's in the book as well, omega point. So it's like, something that we started from there. So that is now out there, but it is not the case. Singularity is that really nothing there. Not even that mega point is there. No, nothing. That means it's a singularity. That means everything, whatever we are perceiving here, is the dream, deepest dream. But when you wake up, where's the dream? This is the more perceivable example.
Are matter, space, and time a dream?
Yeah. Now again, forget about all that space and time and all that. Right? Okay. Okay. No, I'll beg you to go on this way. Forget about myself and everything. Just think about that you are having a nice dream in the night. Okay. And then forget about that somebody come and wake you up or anything, but early in the morning you get up and then you are awake. So where's the dream now? Nothing, no relevance to dream anymore, right? In the
So
dream,
why worry
you may be
about
fighting with somebody, you may be hitting somebody or whatever it is. Nothing there, right? Got the point?
Yeah. So why worry about the composition of the dream?
Exactly.
It's just a dream.
It's a dream. So you are worried or you are a little concerned because you are still in the dream. But Alex is not concerned about it. I am not concerned about it. Do you see? That's the difference. We see the dream as a dream rather than we are against talking to you. We are here. And just like that frog can jump into the water and then go around and talk to all the tadpoles and then come out, or even swim around and then come out. Are you with me?
Yeah, it's just a very fascinating dream, and
Yeah.
it's hard to like.
Actually, it's a very enjoyable thing, and in fact, if you really grasp it, I mean, really contemplate on it. It's for me actually even talking about is away from the dream. I know that Stephanie's stunned about it, right? What? Any thought? We are just trying to come to help each another. And that's what I said, that even it's helped me, help you, and everybody. That is why this discussion are very good. And it is kind of I told you that even my on the meetup I always say Buddha has said that really these discussions are the 100% support for awakening, not just 50% or 20% or anything. We are really getting into the real essence of our inner essence. That is how we wake up. Any questions? Yes, Sean, I think you are unmute. I think you wanted to.
Yes, I was going to say to go back a little bit. Grace, it's amazing that you mentioned the egg. It is my favorite short story of all time. And I was actually thinking about it when Stephanie was asking, in regards to reincarnation, rebirth, what is the point? That in that story, it is one being reborn again and again and again to live every single life throughout all of human history. And the final point of it is that it's all about reaching the pinnacle of growth and understanding, maturing and learning. And I think in regards to reincarnation, that right there is the best way to look at it. I may not have a deep understanding of Buddha's teachings, especially as it comes to the cycle of reincarnation and achieving nirvana to escape it. But I do think that a big part of that is all about learning. Because if you can learn, you can gain that understanding, that experience, then you can achieve nirvana and escape from the cycle.
Yeah, very good. Very good perspective. And then here, actually, the what Sean, you were talking about is understanding and then thinking about a rebirth as we die and reborn. But for the Westerners' mind, normally people address it in a different way. I'll try that too, because that actually we are reborn every millisecond, if I put it that way. Now think about that, really, our physical body, decaying and dying and all that thing. And we were born like a small kid, and then now we are grown and we are living our life. For a second, just set aside of this physical nature of us. But just think about the non-physical aspect of our life. That has been changing too. We are not that happy person when we were a toddler. We died, that toddler died, and then became a kind of a little girl or boy. And then again, I'm just giving a chunk of breaks, not every millisecond. I'm talking about years and years right now. So then even when you are 12 years, you are not thinking the same way that when you were 5 years old, right? You are different. You have some concept and all that connected. So you are a different person in that way. And then you were reborn on that way. And then even when you are 20 years old, actually you have different ambitions, different things, and then you are not the same that toddler anymore. And of course, after you got kids and everything, and then you are not the same person. So this is actually rebirth on this lifetime. We are born again and again and again. This is maybe that born again people are talking about, but it's not that level. I'm talking about this actually to comprehend this cycle of thing is happening. That is why now we can perceive that way, right? We see that it's a reality. We can see that we are getting old, and then our skin get a little different and all that. All this thing we can see. But when you go to that non-physical nature, it is a continuous snowball, rolling. Even though our physical nature goes away, it's rolling, because even the Christianity we are talking about, going to heaven. Who's going to heaven? Your body is not going to go to heaven. Then you're going to heaven at your metaphysical nature, or whatever the underneath thing, that your liveliness. So that is what that is what is reborn all the way into the long time. Like, that snowball is rolling on the way. Now, since Sean was studying about it, and then I would wanted to give a little different perspective, that reincarnation part. Because reincarnation is actually like we are born another human nature. That's what reincarnation means. But when Buddha has seen that, really, it's not the reincarnation. It is a rebirth. Rebirth we can be a bird later on. Now only you will get a question mark. Do I want to be a bird?
Well,
Right.
to tell you the truth, I would rather be a bird than human.
Human,
Sounds
exactly.
much
No
more
worries.
relaxing.
No worries. You don't have to go to work. You don't have to get up in the morning. You just float on the air and then come and sit and then enjoy the life. That's true.
Yeah, in a fairy tale, someone gets cursed to be a frog. That sounds pretty good.
See, it's a different perspective. So the thing is that really whatever we study and collect into our mind is actually we are just fattening the snowball. We are putting some more snow into that, and then we are struggling with it. Rather than that, what you need to do is just to be quiet, bring your attention to that inner essence, that ambience, that inner essence was there when you were born too. That we have to allow that to happen. So whenever the way that you were born into this lifetime, you may have a very little thing was there. And then that dies away, that's actually melt away if you just allow that to happen. More confused? No, it's actually I know that the whatever we are discussing, you won't get it immediately, but I think it's a good thing to contemplate, right? All agree?
Yeah, it triggers the feeling.
Yeah.
It triggers the ambiance, I would say. Yeah. Like talking about this kind of thing helps me with the ambiance. Yeah.
Yeah. Ambience. Yeah. Get to that ambience. Yeah.
I feel closer to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if I don't understand a single thing.
No. Yeah. If I put a different spin to that, we always, when we are working or when we are doing something, actually we are getting tired, right? Doing this, doing that. So we want to rest, right? But think about resting our mind, or our brain, if we put it that. Hey, give a rest to the brain and then be happy. That's simple. Do you have anything to add? I know that you have to throw away all the things that you learned from Sri Lanka, right? You're on mute.
Yeah, I threw away all of it. No, it's as far as how can I put it? As far as like what's next in this life in the rebirth, I guess from being there into and to understand the stream winner and Sakadegami and the Anagami and the Arahant. It's like I know myself. I have some things I need to achieve in order to lessen these rebirths. So that's just what I was really thinking of. And that may be a little bit more, from where we at right now. But that's just what I was actually thinking upon, was actually reaching nirvana through those steps. But like I said, I know that's probably a little bit more for what we got here tonight. But I was just reflecting on that while we was talking.
Very good, very good, very good that you brought that aspect of it. So I want to give a different, give a right twist or the turning to that. Now we think that really even the most scholars, even in Sri Lanka, they talk about achieving. First stage of enlightenment, achieving second stage of enlightenment, achieving third stage of enlightenment, and then they're achieving the Arihant. It's not the achievement, actually. What you're doing is you are just letting go of the rest of the things which is covering it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, it's just a conventional truth. I would say it's
exactly,
not absolute.
I know this is how you are taught. Yeah. I'm just giving a different perspective because even in the book, Grace would see at the very end, I was talking about because people are really, even those kind of meditative absorption, they think they are achieving. Actually, they're just going into you're bringing your mind into one place, and there's a target. They're doing something and getting something. But when it comes to these enlightenment, whatever the working or the 4 stages of awakening, it is like you are awakening from the dream. That means you are letting go of the dream, and then you're just now wiping off your hand and warming your hand, and then getting it, and finally getting up from the bed, and then so it's not real. You are achieving. You are just letting go of all that.
Right.
So that whatever the thing was covering has been left you. So then what is left with us? Nothing. Like, that onion, the simile of onion, you're peeling off the onion skins. So it's not achievement. It's actually allowing that to happen, letting go of it. Right? So that is how yeah. He gave a category because your like, if I put it different way, if the battery is dying, so it's saying that really first stage, actually 90% of the battery is still there, 20% or 10% has gone. And then next stage, okay, another 20% gone. So then only 70% left. And then like, so that like, the Sakrudagami or the stream winner has only 7 fetters left. He's not with that full 10 fetters. And then the second stage of enlightenment is called actually once returner, or in Pali, Sakrudagami. That person has that, out of that 7 fetters, the 4th and 5th fetters are halfway gone, like, not even fully gone, halfway gone. And then the non-returner, that out of that 7 fetters, the 4th and 5th fetter already gone, and only left with 5 fetters. And then when it comes to fully awakened, that all that 5 fetters has gone too. See, that it's not an achievement. It's actually coming down, like, you are climbing down the ladder. Did you get the point?
Oh, no, I know it's letting go, but I didn't know if that would be a better choice for the group.
No,
so, like
good.
I said, I apologize for the wording.
No. You didn't do anything wrong. I know that is how it's been taught to people, and then that is how you comprehend as well. I mean, that's the vocabulary is being used even back there, even right now here. Most of the people are using that vocabulary. I'm not saying that you did something wrong, but I'm saying it's a different perspective, different dimension, and then I'm giving that experiential level that it is. It's very good, that question. I mean, that's what I said. In a discussion, we will bring up different perspective of the same subject. So then we can clear up this way and that way. Very nice. Any more? I want a very good feedback, Grace, once you finish the book. And this is a very good feeding. I mean, very good feeding as well for your reading, because you can see that really where I'm going. And yes.
Where can I buy this book on Amazon?
Amazon, yeah, it's in Amazon.
What is the new one called?
Inner Science.
Okay. I guess it doesn't matter because I haven't read any of your books, so it doesn't matter which one I start with, right? Or would you recommend?
No, I think I recommend you start with this one, the new one, because the previous ones are more like, I was writing. I wanted to give the message without any religious bias kind of thing. It's a more faith neutral way that really I try to give that message. But some people will like that way, but I know that it will be even for you, and you might be like the other one, but actually this is more direct, and this is it more experiential thing. And then I think it's easy to read as well, I think, on the previous one than the previous one. Right, Grace?
This is the only one that I've read so far. I started with this one, so.
The other one was really, it was, edited by different people and all that. This one, nobody edited. I just went through all that thing. It came through me. And then I was writing, and it was only 4 months. I think within 4 months I finished everything. So even one of my friend back in Sri Lanka, he asked me, "How did you come up with this particular one?" I said, "No, it just came, just came." So I just started putting down there. So that's how it came. I think that's the one I would recommend you to read. And
No.
yeah, very good.
When you were talking about this battery draining a moment ago, my first thought was I'm wondering where I'm at. But then my second thought was, does it really matter? Because I feel like there's some people that are at a 90% and then they have one thing happen and it goes to zero. It seems like Eckhart Tolle had this kind of experience. So does it even matter where I'm currently at? No.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't
It
matter.
could take 300 more lifetimes or 7 days. Who knows?
Yeah. For you, I'm pretty sure that won't take that long.
Okay.
because
Yeah, I'm hoping not 300 more lifetimes. I'm hoping for a little bit quicker, but we'll see.
Okay, I'll put that 100 more lifetime. One lifetime you're referring to is about an hour. How about that?
Okay.
Are you with me? It doesn't matter. The 100 lifetime means actually on the conventional way we are measuring it.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get this experience, there is no that measure anymore.
Yeah.
So you are in there all the time.
Yeah.
Now, recently I was talking about, I have this discussion every other week in Singular, in my land, with a lot of people around, Sri Lanka, Australia, Canada, and all other places. They join in, and two people, they are really with the same experience, like, Alex and me and all. So they were saying that really, now I don't see a time at all now. In the sense, I don't sense the time anymore, because I do things especially because of very recently we had this New Year, right? The Sri Lankan New Year, and they were saying, no, we haven't even celebrated it because it's another day. It's just been passed through us, kind of thing. That's but they have kids and all that. They have mothers, and mother is really good at it as well. She was saying even mother doesn't like she's not into those kind of things. Not like doesn't like, not into that. It's just very peaceful, nothing much to worry, and the time passes. So it is not 100 years, not 100 birth or anything. It's within you. You have it right now, but all these numbers and times and everything was conventional, common denomination. Like, we are just agreeing with, okay, today's okay in the morning, or there's new day, there's a calendar, new calendar, and all that. All this existence, some measurement, that some time and space we have created. That is why it is a dream.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not connected, not clinging to that, you are not in a dream. You are awake. Right, Alex?
Yeah, the only time that you really perceive is now, and you can only ever feel that time is moving at 1 second per second. So what's now versus now? And it's the same thing. It's still now. It's just slowly down as you perceive it. And what's a million rebirths if you only perceive time as it is in front of you in the moment? You're only perceiving it as now. It's when you start thinking far into the future or far into the past. Wow, I still have so much time left to go. Well, sure, but I mean, you have so much time behind you too, and look at where you are now. It's something it's going to continue to bleed away until eventually you've lived all of the births, you've come back and done everything, and when you get to that final rebirth, it's something where you've experienced everything. There's no reason to hold on to anything. There's no reason to grasp anything along those lines. It's something where you can just accept being, and you can let go of I don't need to come back. There, what time is now versus what time is in the future, all of those kinds of things. Everything begins to bleed away, and then you eventually end up in that timeless, non-self place, for lack of a better term, where again, as you were kind of wondering, well, what is the end? I don't know, but I don't think that's really an answerable question. So it's something where you just have to be in the moment as it is, and it's
That's it.
everything is great.
Exactly. Like,
Everything you just described reminded me of that experience that I had years ago.
exactly.
Mm,
This is exactly how I was experiencing the world, and I
Ex-
would not have asked myself these questions back then. It
hmm
would
Exactly.
have been completely irrelevant.
Yes, that's true. I know for sure.
I just don't know why it went away.
Yeah, that because of you are now, confined to your mind. That's why it is. Because you are just trying to figure that out. No, you don't need to figure that out.
But
Just allow that.
why did you and why did Alex stay there and I went back after 2 weeks?
Yeah, not 2 weeks actually. After that, you said, but
I never went completely back to where I came from,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
No, that happens. That's happened. That 2 weeks is enough. That 2 weeks you had a very good thing. But in after that, even until that that specific incident happened, you were fairly all right, right? Just a fairly all right all
Oh
the
yeah,
time.
it was a huge difference. Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Mhm.
that is where that really that when we talk about this dying down, and then we were talking about that melting away. So that 2 weeks that you are referring to is very much melted away, like. But actually, you start rolling again, and then that is why again the snow collected. Then snow collected. Now you are really much more bigger snowball, if I put it that way.
Yeah.
And it's make it easier for you to think about that. That is why you are still trying to figure out how to get there. You don't have to get there. You just stop there,
Just
and then
stop
it'll
rolling.
yeah it'll come. Yeah. Stop conceptualizing,
Yeah.
thinking about, and future, past, even past thing that really it's gone. Now you don't need to. Because like I'm just want to focus back onto that. Grace mentioned a good thing earlier. It's a present moment. That's all we have. That present moment is infinite. If you touch it, you had that experience. That 2 weeks, it was there. But still, you are now. We are just talking to you. I mean, we are in this dream as well. But we know that it's a dream, rather than we are not lost in the dream. That's the beauty of it.
So
Yeah.
one thing that I've noticed, especially in within the last 4 months since having this experience, is that just things that come into my general sphere of awareness, that it used to be something where it's, oh, this thing happened, and so on and so forth. I'm angry or what have you, and I'm grasping onto this thing that happened, rather than now I just tend to laugh things off and think about how ridiculous everything is. And one of my favorite quotes is that not only is reality stranger than you suppose, but it's stranger than you can suppose. And like one thing that I noticed a while ago was I I have two dogs, and at one point I was doing something and I dropped a ball, and I saw it. I just stood there and I watched it bounce off something again, and then it landed perfectly in a water bowl. And it was something where I used to go, this huge mess, blah blah blah. I find myself now standing there just laughing hysterically at how ridiculous the whole situation was. And then a few days later, the same thing happened in a different area of my apartment. Another ball landed in water, and I just found myself laughing. This is just so silly. Existence and everything that we're experiencing is just it's so ridiculous. I have a hard time taking things so seriously when I just think about how ridiculous experiencing life and everything is in general.
Exactly, and you know that really, all of you, I think, I know that you read that Eckhart Tolle's Power of Now. What he's saying is that at the very beginning, when he was sitting at the park benches and all that, people come and ask questions. So when he realized why he's asking this question, he laughed, and then the person who asked the question was really upset. Are you laughing at me? So then Tolle was thinking, oh, I shouldn't be doing that. And then he just constrained or the content rather than laughing because it's laughable. It's actually comical. The people are going along with this, mind-made problems, just created problems. and if my personal life, of course, I still have my mortgage. And then some people are, you retired, why didn't pay off? I said, it's okay. It happens. I am just, it's not a worry thing, right? It's happening. Why you? Still you can laugh. You can be happy. You can be peaceful.